Welcome back, everybody, for another deep dive. This time we've got a really interesting one. Uh, I'm really excited about this one. We're going to be looking at Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field and also the Law of One.
That's an interesting combination.
It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
And we're going to see if there's any kind of surprising connections or unexpected wisdom that we can glean from these two sources. Lead the Field, as you know, is this sort of classic guide to personal development, achieving success, and living a fulfilling life. And the Law of One is this complex metaphysical text that explores consciousness and reincarnation and the nature of reality. And so we're going to dive deep into both of these and see what we can find and see if they can offer some kind of complementary perspectives on personal growth and the nature of our existence.
I love it.
Yeah, so I think, first of all, let's just sort of start with Lead the Field and just kind of unpack some of the key ideas. And then we'll move into the Law of One, and then we'll see how we can kind of weave those together. One of the things that really struck me about Lead the Field was Nightingale's emphasis on attitude. You know, he's not just talking about like thinking positive thoughts, right? He's saying that our attitude is the foundation upon which we build our entire reality.
Yeah, and that's something that ripples outward if our thoughts are shaping our reality. They're also influencing the reality of those around us.
Absolutely.
And I think that's an important thing to consider.
It is, and he doesn't just leave it there. You know,
Yeah.
he talks about the importance of setting clear, specific goals. And he even says our goals should fill us with positive emotion, like they should excite us.
What I find fascinating is he connects that to the concept of service.
Oh, yeah.
He says that the rewards in life are directly proportionate to the service that we provide to others.
Yeah.
One quote that stood out to me says, if any person alive is discontented with his rewards, he should examine his service.
Yeah, that's such a powerful quote, isn't it? And it
Yeah.
kind of challenges this idea that success is about, grabbing all you can get. And it's really suggesting that the more we contribute, the more we receive. It almost sounds like a universal law.
Right. It does resonate with some deeper principle, doesn't it?
Yeah, and so we'll kind of come back to that when we talk about the law of one and its focus on service to others.
Yeah.
But yeah, before we get too cosmic, yeah, Nightingale also talks about the importance of integrity, and he defines integrity as giving our best in everything we do, being true to ourselves, and constantly seeking truth.
And that commitment to truth seeking is really crucial, I think, for any kind of personal growth because it requires us to question our assumptions and be willing to, revise our beliefs as we get new information.
Exactly, and it's about being open to learning and evolving,
Right.
right? But now let's shift gears a little bit and let's journey into the more metaphysical realm of the law of one. So get ready because things are about to get pretty mind-bending.
Yeah. The Law of One presents a complex cosmology. It introduces concepts like densities, which describe different vibrational levels of consciousness.
Yeah.
So you can imagine like a staircase. Each step represents a progressively higher level of awareness and understanding.
Okay, I like that I'm visualizing this cosmic staircase.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we fit on the staircase? Are we like down at the bottom rung? Are we?
So according to Ra, the entity that's channeled in the Law of One Earth is currently transitioning from third to fourth density. So think of it as moving from a level that's really focused on individuality and materiality to one that's characterized by love and understanding and a deeper connection to unity.
So we're kind of like in between levels right now in a period of transition.
Exactly.
It makes you wonder if all the kind of upheaval and change that we're seeing in the world today is part of this shift.
That's a very interesting connection. Ross speaks about the law of confusion, which kind of governs this third density. Essentially, it means we have free will to choose our path, whether that's service to others or service to self.
Okay.
It's during this phase where we're refining these choices and ultimately kind of determine our trajectory.
So how does this density transition happen? Do we just like wake up one day and we're in fourth density?
I wish it were that simple, but it's not quite like that. The Law of One describes this process called harvest, where individuals are evaluated based on their vibrational frequency,
Okay.
which is determined by their choices and their actions.
So it's kind of like a cosmic sorting hat.
You could think of it that way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're being like constantly judged by some cosmic force.
It's not about judgment in a punitive sense. It's more about recognizing that, All paths are valid,
Okay.
and they ultimately lead back to the source. However, the path of service to others is seen as more aligned with the natural flow of evolution
Okay.
towards higher densities.
Got it.
It's about recognizing that we're all interconnected and our actions have these ripple effects that extend far beyond ourselves.
Yeah, and that already is starting to sound a lot like some of the ideas that we were talking about with Lead the Field.
Exactly, and we'll kind of delve into those connections more deeply when we return.
Welcome back to our exploration of Lead the Field and the Law of One. We've been uncovering some really intriguing parallels between these two seemingly disparate sources.
It's amazing how these ideas are starting to connect, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about, attitude shaping reality and the importance of goal setting and
Yeah.
this idea that service to others leads to, true rewards.
And we've just scratched the surface of the cosmic perspective offered in the Law of One with its concepts of densities and harvest and this choice between service to others and service to self.
Right. And it's like Nightingale is giving us this practical roadmap for how to navigate this third density,
Yeah.
while the law of one is providing this kind of cosmic context for understanding, where we fit in the grand scheme of things.
Exactly. And one of the most striking parallels, I think, is this emphasis on service.
Yeah.
Nightingale presents it as, the key to personal fulfillment and success, while Raw frames it as the path of spiritual evolution. But isn't it a bit simplistic to say that just serving others automatically leads to rewards? I mean, what about people who dedicate their lives to helping others and still struggle, you know?
That's a valid point. I think it's important to remember that, Nightingale is writing from a particular perspective. He's focused on achieving success in the material world.
Right.
The law of one offers a broader view, suggesting that, true rewards may not always manifest in material terms.
So maybe it's more about, inner growth and spiritual alignment and contributing to the greater good, even if those efforts don't lead to, fame or fortune.
Precisely. And the law of one reminds us that we're all interconnected. So, acts of service, no matter how small, have this ripple effect that contribute to the overall evolution of consciousness.
This makes me think about Nightingale's advice to, dedicate time each day to brainstorming and refining ideas.
Hmm.
He says that the more we kind of engage with our goals, the more they take root in our subconscious, leading to inspired action.
That's an interesting connection. It resonates with what Ra refers to as the power of thought forms.
Oh, okay.
Essentially, our focused thoughts and intentions create these energetic patterns that can influence reality.
So if we combine Nightingale's practical advice with, you know, the metaphysical principles of the Law of One, it seems like we have a pretty powerful formula for manifesting positive change.
Indeed, by aligning our will with service to others and focusing our thoughts on the outcomes we desire, we can become more conscious co-creators of our reality.
But what about the challenges and setbacks that we inevitably encounter? Life isn't always smooth sailing, right?
Absolutely. Lead the Field encourages perseverance, viewing these difficulties as opportunities for growth. Nightingale even compares life to a plot of rich soil, suggesting that it can only return to us what we sow.
I love that analogy.
Yeah,
It kind of implies that we have the power to cultivate our inner landscape, to
yeah.
nurture the seeds of our potential, even amidst the storms of life.
And the Law of One offers a similar perspective viewing challenges as these catalysts for learning and evolution. It even suggests that we might choose these challenges before incarnating to help us work through specific lessons.
Wait, so we're actually signing up for these tough experiences before we're even born?
Perhaps.
That's a wild thought.
Yeah, the Law of One calls these challenges catalysts. They're not meant to be punishments,
Okay.
but opportunities to confront our limiting beliefs, expand our capacity for compassion, and accelerate our spiritual growth.
So instead of resisting difficulties, we can reframe them as opportunities to learn and evolve.
Exactly. And remember, we don't have to face these challenges alone. The Law of One introduces this concept of wanderers beings from higher densities who incarnate on Earth to assist with its evolution.
Okay, let's talk about these wanderers because it's such an intriguing concept, but I have to admit it also feels a bit far-fetched.
Hmm.
What evidence is there that these beings actually exist?
Well, the Law of One doesn't offer, concrete evidence in a scientific sense.
That-
It's more about recognizing certain traits and experiences that might suggest, a soul origin outside of Earth.
Okay.
For example, wanderers often feel a sense of not belonging, a deep longing for home, and a strong pull towards service and helping others.
So even if someone doesn't buy into the whole, extraterrestrial origin thing, the concept of being a wanderer can still be a powerful metaphor for anyone who feels called to make a positive difference in the world.
Absolutely. It's about tapping into that inner sense of purpose and recognizing that we all have these unique gifts to offer.
And I'm realizing that these sources, despite their different approaches, are offering this remarkably unified message. It's about recognizing our interconnectedness, embracing our challenges as opportunities for growth, and aligning our actions with service to others.
And as we integrate these principles into our lives, we become active participants in the evolution of consciousness itself.
That's a powerful thought to ponder, but let's bring it back down to earth for a moment.
Yeah.
How can our listeners actually apply these insights to their daily lives? We'll explore that and more when we return for the final part of our deep dive. Welcome back to the deep dive. We've been on quite a journey exploring these unexpected connections between Earl Nightingale's Lead the Field and the Law of One.
It's been pretty fascinating, yeah.
It has. And, it's remarkable how these two sources, one grounded in practical advice for success and the other delving into, the nature of consciousness and reality, offer such complementary perspectives.
It is.
But now let's shift our focus to you, the listener. How can you take these insights and apply them to your own life?
Well, I think it all starts with awareness. Nightingale encourages us to examine our attitude, our goals, and the service that we're providing.
Right.
Are you truly living in alignment with your values and aspirations?
Yeah, and are your goals, fueled by a genuine desire to contribute something meaningful to the world, or are they primarily focused on, personal gain?
Right. And these questions might seem simple, but they can lead to some really profound shifts in perspective.
Absolutely.
And remember, as Ra reminds us in the Law of One, our thoughts and intentions create these energetic patterns that influence reality.
So if we combine Nightingale's practical advice about setting clear goals and taking consistent action with, this metaphysical understanding of thought forms, we can become more conscious creators of our experience.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that we're not just these passive recipients of fate,
Right.
but active participants in shaping our reality.
Yeah, but what about when things get tough? We've talked about the challenges and setbacks that are inevitable in life.
Yeah.
How can we apply the wisdom of both sources to kind of navigate those difficult moments?
Well, both Nightingale and the Law of One encourage us to reframe these challenges as opportunities for growth.
Okay.
Remember Nightingale's analogy of life being like fertile soil, even amidst storms, there's potential for growth and abundance. And the Law of One takes this a step further, suggesting that we might even choose these challenges before incarnating to help us learn and evolve.
Oh, wow.
It's a radical concept,
Yeah,
but it can be incredibly empowering.
it is.
Instead of seeing these difficulties as punishments or random events,
Yeah.
we can view them as catalysts for transformation.
Okay.
It's in these moments that we often discover our hidden strengths, we develop resilience, and deepen our compassion.
This makes me think about the concept of wanderers from the Law of One. Even if we don't resonate with the idea of extraterrestrial origins, the metaphor of being a wanderer on a mission to serve can be a really powerful reminder of our potential to make a positive impact.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that each of us has these unique gifts and talents to offer.
Right.
And by aligning those gifts with service to others, we not only contribute to the greater good, but also experience a profound sense of purpose and fulfillment.
Yeah. So as we wrap up this deep dive, what's like one key takeaway that you want our listeners to remember?
I would say it's this commit to conscious living, pay attention to your thoughts, your words, and your actions, choose kindness over judgment, compassion over indifference, and service over self-interest.
I love that. And remember, you don't have to do it alone.
Yeah.
Connect with others who resonate with your values, seek out mentors and guides, and most importantly, trust your intuition and the wisdom within.
As you embark on this journey of self-discovery and service, remember that even the smallest acts of kindness can have a ripple effect. You have the power to make a difference, to contribute to the evolution of consciousness, and to create a world that reflects the love and wisdom that reside within you.
Beautiful. Well said. Until next time, keep diving deep and keep shining your light.